So we are continuing to solve the WAEC Further Mathematics problem. So today we're looking at question 13 to 15, which is the last part of the question. We solved question 1 to 12. So let's look at question 13 today, then back to down to 15. So it says 12% of sugar packaged by a machine in a factory are found to be less than 50 kilograms. If 8 of the bags were selected at random, find correctly in the first significant figure the probability that exactly half. So the one they package is less than half, which is 50%, which is 50 kilograms. So assume that the total bag is 100 kilograms. So let's see how we get exactly half of the bag package is 50% or 50 kilograms. So we have, this is binomial probability. So we have Q, if A to be 50% is 12%. 12% less than 50 kilograms. So which is 0.12. So we know that in binomial probability that success plus failure is equals to 1. So my success now, which is P, that is more than 50 kilograms, is 1 minus failure. That will give me 1 minus 0.12. The success is now 0.88. So let's code the formula probability. Prob X is equals to n combination X, P raised to the power X, Q n minus X. That is the formula of binomial probability. So let's exactly half, which is 50 kilograms. So let's check. Out of 8 bags, exactly half will be 4, meaning S is 4. So I'm going to have my X now is 4. This is half of the total bag. This is half of 8. So I'm going to have probability of X now, which is prob X equals to 4. And that'll give me 8 combination 4. Then I have my P, which is succeeded to be more than 12%, which is the half. That will give me 0.88 raised to the power 4. If failed to be 50 kilograms, 0.128 minus 4. So this will give us 8 combination 4, 0.88 raised to the power 4. Here is now 0.12 raised to the power 4. So what are we having? We know that n combination r is n factorial over n minus r factorial. So we use that to simplify 8 combination 4. So if you simplify 8 combination 4 using the formula of factorial of combination, I'm going to have 8 combination 4, the value will give us 70. So we are having prob X equals to 4. We are having 70 times. So I will have 0.88 raised to the power 4. That will give me 0.5996. 0.5996 times. Next one, 0.12 raised to the power 4. That will give me 0.00. I'm going to have 0.000207. So I multiply the 3 variables. 5996 times 70, that will give us 0.0087. So the solution to question 1. Question 2, at least 75%. That means more than more than 50%. So let's know the amount that's equivalent to at least 75% for 8 out of 8 bags. So we have got 2. So 75 over 100 times 8. Let's know the amount that was packaged. So I'm having 75 times 8 divided by 100. That will give us 6. So at least 6 bags. Yeah, at least 75%. 6 bags at least 75%. So at least that, meaning from 6 to the highest number, which is 8. Meaning we are having P x is equals to prob x equals to 6 plus prob x equals to 7 plus prob x equals to 8. That is at least 6. So if you have 5 naira, somebody say give me at least 3 naira, meaning the minimum amount you can give that person is 3 naira. That means you can give 3 naira, 4 naira, or the entire 5 naira. So we have 8 bags, and 7% of the 8 bags is 6. And when I say at least 6, meaning it can be 6, 7, or 8. So let's do for probability of 6. I'm going to have 8 combination 6, 0.88 raised to the power 6, then 0.128 minus 6, or 8 combination 7, 0.88 raised to the power 7, 0.128 minus 7, plus 8 combination 8, 0.88 raised to the power 8, bracket 0.128 minus 8. So if you simplify each of these variables, we are going to have the first expression for at least 6. For at least 6, let's simplify that. The way we did the first one, we are going to have 0.18743. Then for 7, I'm going to have 0.392329. And for 8, I'm going to have 0.359632. So if we add up, what are we having? I'm going to have 0.939204. This is now the solution to question 13A. Let's go back to 13B. You say there are 35% defective syringe in a large box. If 14 are selected at random from the box, find the probability that between 3 and 6 are defective. So say 35% of syringe are defective. So I'm going to have 13B. Success probability of P now is simply 35 over 100. That will give us 0.35. That is succeeded to be defective. Then we know that success plus failure is 1. This one now implies that the failure is simply 1 minus success. So I'm having 1 minus 0.35. So my Q now, which is the failure, will give me 0.65. So we are dealing with the probability of either 3. That means prob 3 less than x, s less than 6. That means we're having, that is equivalent to probability of x equals to 4 plus the probability of x equals to 6. That is what it means. So let's put the mathematical expression. So probability of x is equals to n combination x, p raised to the power x, q, n minus x. So for x equals to the first value there, which is 4, and the total numbers of items involved is 14. So I'm going to have prob x equals to 4. That will give me 14 combination 4. Success 0.35 raised to power 4. Then failure 0.65. 14 minus 4. That will give us 14 combination 4. 0.35 raised to power 4. 0.65 raised to power 10. So applying the same formula of combination, if I simplify that, I'm going to have, if I press calculator by simplifying, I'm going to have 0.2022. So let's also do 4 prob x equals to 5. That will give me 14 combination 5, 0.35 raised to power 5, 0.65, 14 minus 5, which is now 14 combination 5, 0.35 raised to power 5, bracket 0.65 raised to power 9. So just as we simplified previously, if we simplify for 5, we're going to have, let me press my calculator, I'm going to have 0.2178. So we have prob x equals to 4 plus prob x equals to 5. That means that will give us 0.2022 plus 0.2178. If we add up, that will give us a 0.4200. So this is solution to the entire question 13, which is probability, binomial probability. So let's check question 14. This is vector and magnets. Question 14, say the position vectors of P and Q, P equals to 2i plus 3j and Q equals to 4i. Let me zoom in so that you can see the question clearly. So we have P equals to 2i plus 3j and Q equals to 4i minus 7j. So you should find the absolute value of 4p minus 5q. So let's put P and Q. So my P is 2i plus 3j and Q is 4i minus 7j. This is question 14a. So we are asked to find the absolute value of 4p minus 5q. Absolute 4p minus 5q. So I'll get my 4p. 4p is now 4 into the vector of q, which is 2i plus 3j. That will give us a 8i plus 12j. So I also have 5q, my 5q will be 5 into 4i minus 7j. What are we having? If I'm going to open the bracket, I'm having 20i minus 35j. Don't forget we're having 4p minus 5q. 4p minus 5q. So my 4p let's see. So we're having 4p minus 5q now will be, value of 4p is this, which is 8i plus 12j minus into 20i minus 35j. So as you know why I'm putting it in bracket, because of the negative value. So if I simplify this, I'm going to have 8i plus 12j minus 20i plus 35j. So 8i minus 12j will give us minus 20i, sorry, 20i. 8i minus 20i, that will give us minus 12i. So I'm going to have my 4p minus 5q now. That will give us minus 12i. Then 12 plus 35, that will give us 47 plus 47j. So the absolute value now, 4p minus 5q, will be square roots of minus 12 square plus 47 square, which is square roots. 12 square is 144 plus, so let's go for 47. 47 square will give me what? Will give me 2209. So if I add up to 144, that will give me 2353. So the absolute value of 4p minus 5q will give me, what's the square root of that? Will give me 48.51 in scalar form. So that is solution to question 14A. So let's check 14B. 14B says the scalars m and n are such that mp minus nq equals to 3i minus 7j. So mp. So I will put m bracket vector of p, m bracket vectors of q. So we're having mp 14b mp minus nq is equals to 3i minus 7j. 3i minus 7j. So that will give me m into 2i plus 3j, which is the value of p, minus n into 4i minus 7j is equals to 3i minus 7j. So I will open the bracket. That will give me 2mi plus 3mj minus 4ni plus 7nj is equals to 3i minus 7j. So I'll group the i's together. So I'm going to have 2m plus 4n minus 4n, 2n minus 4n I. That will group the j's together, plus 3m plus 7n j is equals to 3i minus 7j. So all I need to do here is to compare coefficient I to I in the left hand side equals to I in the right hand side. So what would that give to us? I'm going to have 2m minus 4n is equals to 3. Let's call this equation 1. There we have 3m plus 7n. Then I have 3m plus 7n is equals to minus 7. Let's call this equation 2. So we are going to solve one and two simultaneously. But let's use the elimination method. That would be better, quicker for us. So I multiply here is 7 times. Here should be equation 1 times 7, equation 2 times 4, equation 2 times 4. So let's do that. If I multiply through now, I'm going to have 14m minus 28n is equals to 21. Equation 3. Here will give me 12m plus 28n is equals to minus 28, equation 4. So let's add up. That we're having This and this is 0. That will give us 26m. Here will give me minus 7. So what is my m? My m now is simply minus 7 over 26, the value of n. So let's solve for n. Let's solve for n by putting the value of n into equation 1, 2, 3, or any of the equations that satisfy you. So let's solve for n. So let's consider equation 1. I'm having 2n minus 4n equals to 3. I'm having 2n minus 2n minus 4n minus 4n is equals to 3. So my m is minus 7 over 26. So this will give me 2 into minus 7 over 26 minus 3 is equals to 4n. Let's just collect items directly. So 2 here, 2 here is 13. So I'm going to have minus 7 over 13 minus 3 is equals to 4n. If I take LCM, I'm having 4n is equals to minus 7 minus 39 over 13. So 4n will give us what? Minus 7 minus 39, that will give us minus 46 over 13. Therefore, my n is simply minus 46 over 4 times 13. That will give us 52. So if I divide through, 46 divided 52, I'll give minus 23 over 26. That's not the value of n. So, and finally, let's look at the last question, question 15. Question 15a said a ball is thrown from the ground upward with a velocity of this. A second later, another ball at rest, head at rest. That means the initial velocity of the second ball is 0. Is released from a height of 50 meters to hit the first ball. Find the time when the two balls meet. Okay, so the first ball is thrown with an initial velocity of 30. So let's do that. Question 15a. We know motion under gravity, we don't have this time. What we have is height. So I'm having h as ut plus minus half gt squared. So depending on the condition, we determine whether we are using plus or minus. So for the first case now, we are using negative. Initial velocity is 30. I'm having 30t minus 1 over 2. G is always 10 times t squared. 2 here 1, 2 here is 5. So my h is now 30t minus 5t squared. Let's take this as equation 1. Let's go to the second condition. Second condition says that the second ball is thrown from rest from a height of 50 meters seconds later. That means I'm going to have h now is equals to 0 times t, because it was thrown from rest, minus 1 over 2 times 10 times t minus 1 squared. But you see, second later, that is 1 second late compared to the first ball. So the same way, 2 here 1, 2 here is 5. So my height will give me minus 5 into t minus 1 squared, which is minus 5 bracket. If I expand t minus 1, that will give us t squared minus 2t plus 1. So let the minus I go through. I have minus 5t squared plus 10t minus 5. But don't forget, the ball was thrown from a height of, second ball was thrown from a height of 50 meters. So my height now, the total height now, h total now will be 50 minus 5t squared plus 10t minus 5. So let the minus I go through. I'm having 50 plus 5t squared C plus 5t squared minus 10t plus 5. So I will add those. I can add. Let's add those. We can add from here. So I can add 50 to 5. That will give us 55. So as I always say, this is STEMupAfrica. If you like what you are watching, support us by subscribing to the YouTube channel. You are going to receive more and more exciting videos. You're going to receive more and more exciting videos. So it's supposed to be okay. Let's see. Here ought to be plus minus. Here is plus. So here remain as negative. Here remain as positive. Here remain as negative. Here remain as negative. Because if you draw the diagram, I will explain that shortly. So I'm going to have 50 minus 5, that is give us 45. So I'm going to have HT is equals to 45 minus 5t squared plus 10t, equation 2. So the second ball was strong. This is the concept like this. So this is the height. From here to here is 50. So what is now the total height now? So we are adding both of them, not subtracting them. We are adding, not subtracting. So that's the concept. Total height now we are adding, not subtracting. So that's the point I'm trying to. That is why I put positive and not negative. So let's equate equation 1 and 2. Equate 1 and 2. So what the equation 1 says, it says 30t minus 5t squared. So I'm having 30t minus 5t squared is equals to 45 minus 5t squared plus 10t. So you agree with me, minus 5t squared can remove 5t squared. So what happened from here, I will collect like terms. So I'm having 30t minus 10t is equals to 45. So it implies 20t is equals to 45. My t is simply 45 divided by 20. So what are we having? If we should divide that. 45 divided by 20. That will give us 2.25 seconds. 2.25 seconds. So let's see what the question says. So you calculate the time when the balls meet. So they meet at 2.25 seconds. Now I say the height of the ball. So find the height of the ball. I can use equation 1 or equation 2. So equation 1 will be better for all. Let's use 1. So I will say from 1. Let's say from 1. I'm going to go 2 now. From 1. My h is what? 30t minus 5t squared. For t is equals to 2.25 seconds. So the h becomes 30 brackets 2.25 minus 5 into 2.25 all squared. So h is now 30 times 2.25, that will give me 67.5 minus 2.25 squared times 5. That will give me 25.3125. So if I subtract, what am I having? 7.5 minus my result. That will give me 42.2 meters. That will give me 42.2 meters as the height. So this is STEMup. We treat questions in computer science, ICT, physics, chemistry, maths, further maths. and technical and engineering, including technical drawing. If you're interested, you can contact us one-on-one lesson to have full knowledge of science and technology. We are into STEM generally. So let's go to question 15B to round up WAEC 2026 Further Maths Theory. Question 15B. So a bullet was released from a hunter gun with an initial velocity of this. It then accelerates at 3.5 meters per second for 50 seconds. Find the final velocity. I have to find the final velocity of the bullet, the distance traveled by the bullet. So let's state what is given to us. We are given initial velocity, acceleration, and time. So initial velocity is 8, acceleration is 3.5, time is 15. So 15B. Our U, initial velocity, is 8 meters per second. Our A, acceleration, 3.5 seconds, meter per second square. Then our T is 15 seconds. Our time is 15 seconds. So the final velocity now we don't know. So this data here satisfy first equation of motion, which states that V equals to U plus AT. So if I fix my value, I'm having 8 plus 3.5 times of 15, which is 8 plus, so let's multiply 3.5 times 15. So if I press that from my end, 8 times 15 times 3.5, that will give us 52.5. If I add up plus 8, that will give me 60.5. meter per second. This is now the final velocity. So let's go to Roman figure 2 of it. What does it say? The distance traveled by the bullet. It is 15, Roman figure 2, distance traveled by the bullet. Roman figure 2. So distance, you can use U plus V over 2 bracket T, or we can use X as UT plus half AT squared. So any one of them can serve. So let me go with the first one. So my U is 8, my V is 60.5 divided by 2 times of 15. Okay. Yes, the data is correct. So I'm going to have 68.5 times 15 divided by 2. So my X will be what? Distance now. So distance will give us 68.5 times 15 divided by 2. That will give us 513.75 meters. This is now the distance traveled by the bullet. So this is STEMup. As I always say, support us to enjoy exciting videos such as this. Subscribe, like, and comment. If you have any observation, you can always put it in the comment section. See you in our next video. Next time, we're going to treat the objective of it. Thank you.